let's get some ender pearls and experience. I'm your host, Ledoux. In this video, we're going to build an Enderman farm. For this design, we have two variations. One where you use a sword to kill the Enderman in order to get looting, and where the experience will get stuck in some hoppers so that you can switch to a different tool before you pick it up. Or a second variation that uses carpet with more fall damage so that the experience flows smoothly to you as the Endermen die, and also allows you to punch the Endermen or use any tool to kill them. Now the downside to the punching design is that the spawn area is much smaller. So because of this, I would recommend using the sword design, not only because you'll get more Endermen, but also because you'll get looting as well. We'll talk more about the variations later on, but first I have to say that if you're looking for an easy source of experience, there are better ways. Like a pumpkin melon farm with cured farmers is by far the easiest and most lucrative, simple way to get experience. But on Bedrock especially, we have tons and tons of great farms that are fully AFK, give you tons of experience and tons of good items as well. Endermen don't take damage from thrown tridents, which means that they aren't affected by trident killers, which means that we can't easily AFK experience from Endermen. And I think a big reason why people try to use Enderman farms as experience is because of Java. Because Java can't use trident killers anyway, they basically have to manually kill things to get experience. So killing Endermen by hand is a no-brainer. But on Bedrock, I would recommend using other farms to get experience. But regardless, there are several ways that we can kill Endermen automatically. We could use TNT or harming potions, but we'd have to AFK other farms in order to farm those items. So we could use lava, water, or fall damage, but none of these will give you experience. They would allow you to make an easy ender pearl farm, but for experience, we're going to have to punch the Enderman. With all of that in mind, if you still want to build this farm, here is everything you will need. Now, the coral fans and trapdoors are interchangeable. If you really don't want to use coral fans, you can use trapdoors. But I would highly recommend using coral fans because they will work much better than the trapdoors. Now, for the sword design, you will either need a netherite sword or a diamond sword with at least sharpness 1. So sharpness 1 through 5 on a diamond sword or a netherite sword. The scaffolding is actually optional, it will just help you build the farm, but for the sword design you need 33, and for the swordless design you'll need 41. Then we'll also need some ender pearls because we need to spawn an endermite. Starting off, we need to build this over the void where there is nothing around. So go to the edge of the island, and we're going to go out by 64 leaves from the edge. Once you've pillared out, turn around and look at the island to see if you see any endermen. If you do see endermen, it means that you're on a higher simulation distance than 4. In which case, you need to go out by 2 full stacks of leaves, not just 1. And there needs to be nothing else out here. No islands, no farms, within simulation distance. So either 44 or 128 blocks, depending on your sim. But whether you had to go out by 1 stack or 2, we're going to place a chest on the very last leaf. Then you can place as many chests as you want to going up. These will just be for ender pearls, so it's up to you how many chests you want, or if you just want to build a disposal system, that would be fine too. But we're going to place some leaves so that we can go around to the back, and place hoppers going into the back of all of the chests, and the hoppers should be aligned vertically. Then next to the topmost chest, we're going to place a total of 9 hoppers. So 3 on that side, 2 in the middle, and then 3 on this side. So that all 9 of these hoppers are pointed into each other and then into the chest. So no matter what hopper receives an item, that item will end up in the chest. And now we just need to surround this in leaves to give us a platform so that we don't accidentally fall into the void. I would recommend maybe 3 layers of leaves, but the size is really up to you. You could make it bigger or smaller, whatever you're comfortable with. And then we can just build a staircase out of leaves off to the side so that we can jump up here and access this top area. But of course, that will depend on how many chests you have. If you only have 1 chest, you won't need a staircase. So regardless of the custom aspects to your leaf platform and your chests, we're going to start off next to these 9 hoppers. We're going to place 3 solid blocks going up, break out the bottom 2, and then make a ring out of solid blocks that is surrounding the hoppers 2 blocks above the hoppers. So you'll have a 3x3 hole in the middle of these blocks aligned with the 9 hoppers. And this ring will be 2 above the floor so that you can walk under it, but Endermen can't. Now we just need to surround this ring in more leaves to create this leaf sandwich that's aligned with our bottom platform, just to keep us safe and make us feel comfortable, in case some nonsense happens. Now we want to place scaffolding on one of the 4 corner hoppers to measure the height of our farm. So it depends on which design you want. If you want the punching design that doesn't use a sword, you need 41 scaffolding. And then remember at the end, if you built this version, to place carpet on top of the hoppers. And like I mentioned before, the punching design is going to have a much, much smaller spawn area. So if you use this design, your top platform doesn't need to be as big, which in turn will also lower your rates. Whereas the spawn area for the sword version will cover the entire platform. So for the sword version, go up by 33 scaffolding, and for the punching version, go up by 41 scaffolding. And hold exactly that much scaffolding in your hand as you place it, so that you don't have to count. If you hold exactly 33 or 41, then just spam place them all. You know exactly how high this is. Then we're going to place rings of solid blocks every 3rd scaffolding. So as you crawl up the scaffolding, just make sure there is a 2-block gap in between each layer, just to save you on blocks. Just make sure there is not a 3-block gap in between the layers, because you don't want the Enderman to be able to teleport or land on these rings. So just every 3 blocks, place a ring, just to save you on materials. Now you could always make this tube solid if you want to, that would be fine as well. But the final platform is going to be built 1 block above the topmost scaffolding. So just keep building these rings 2 blocks apart until you reach the tippy top of the scaffolding. Then 1 block above the scaffolding, in the center, we need to go out by 23 blocks in each direction. Now if you went up by 41 scaffolding instead of the 33, this needs to be smaller, so maybe like 15 blocks in each direction. But for the full-size version, again, go out by 23 blocks in each direction, 1 block above the topmost scaffolding. And then on the end of each of these 4 arms, we're going to place 4 blocks going in each direction, and then go diagonally toward the other arms. So go in, then out, then in, then out, and go diagonally toward the other arms, and when it aligns, there should be, again, 4 blocks to the left and right of the center arms. So just continue this on. So go 4 blocks in this direction from the center arm, then go diagonally toward the other. So when you're done, you will end up with something like this. Now just fill in the platform with solid blocks, except for the center 9 squares. That is our tube. And again, remember that regardless of if you went up by 33 scaffolding or 41 scaffolding, this platform needs to be 1 block above the scaffolding, like you see here. So when you're done, it will look something like this. I used 2 different colors just to be kind of fancy, but just fill it in with any solid blocks. And now I need to place coral fans in this hole. So 8 total coral fans on every possible block in this hole. Now again, you could use trapdoors if you really want to, but Endermen are going to get stuck on the edge of the trapdoors, and that's going to lower your rates. Plus, on Bedrock, all you have to do to get coral fans is bone meal the bottom of any type of ocean. It doesn't even have to be a warm ocean, and that will give you coral fans. Now off to one side, in the center, we're going to go up by 3 blocks, then over by 1, and place a glass pane right there. So this glass pane will be in the center of our 3x3 tube hole thing. So there will be 2 blocks between the glass pane and the platform. But now we need to place a boat with chest on top of the glass pane. Any type of boat with chest, but it does need to be a chest boat, not a regular boat. But then we're going to go up by 2 more blocks. So we are now 5 blocks above the platform. We're going to go toward the middle by 1 block, so it's kind of above the boat. Then we're going to surround the boat in this ring that has a 2-block hole. Then fill in the hole on the far side so that this hole is in the exact center of our boat, our glass pane, and our tube. Then go up by 2 blocks surrounding that hole so that we are left with a 1-block ledge and then that center hole. Now we're going to stand on this ledge and throw ender pearls into this corner until we spawn an endermite. So be sure not to use Thorn's armor while you're doing this, because you don't want the endermite to attack you and then die. But it should just fall in the hole. You could always punch it if you need to make it get in the hole, but then be sure to crouch and name tag it. If you don't name tag it, it will despawn, and if you don't crouch, you could end up in the boat. But then break out all of these blocks carefully and quickly so that Endermen don't teleport up there, and make sure that you do not move the boat on accident. As long as the boat is sitting on top of that glass pane, it should be okay. And that is it. You are now basically done. All that's left is to carefully jump down here, because there probably will be Endermen. So crawl down your scaffolding in some way, and then break your scaffolding, and you're now done. Go ahead and place buttons on top of all of these hoppers for the sword design, or for the punching design, place carpet. Now, you could place carpet for the sword design as well, so that all of the experience flows to you, but the carpet will actually lower the amount of fall damage that the Endermen receive, so you will need sharpness on a netherite sword if you want to use carpet with the sword design. But now, you just stand here and poke the Endermen as they fall. The way this works is that Endermen really hate the endermites, so after a few seconds of spawning, they will aggro the endermite, and then fall into the hole because they think coral fans are solid blocks. Then Endermen can only teleport up to 32 blocks in any direction, so they can't teleport out of the kill chamber because it's 33 blocks from the platform. So also be sure not to add anything in this area that Endermen could teleport to. You can use leaves to build whatever you want to. Those are safe, because Endermen cannot teleport to leaves or bottom slabs, at least in Bedrock. And the difference between the two versions is just the amount of fall damage that they receive. You know, the sword one has less of a fall, so they receive less damage, so you need a sword in order to deal enough damage to one-shot them, whereas the other one is farther away, so you get less spawns, but they receive more damage. And then carpet is actually better than buttons, because Endermen can teleport to buttons, but they can't teleport to carpet. But the carpet also reduces fall damage by a block, and will prevent the experience from getting stuck. And having the stuck experience makes it easier to fix our tools. But that's all we got for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, share, and subscribe, and be sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you think about experience farms and what you use your ender pearls for. But always remember that you are totally awesome, and above all, don't forget to have fun. Bye-bye!